Hello, everyone. Uganda National Association of the Deaf, UNAD, has been conducting a research project in collaboration with the University of Central Lancashire in the UK. It is a research project titled Peer-to-Peer Deaf Multiliteracies, which involves reading and writing English, sign language, drawing, mobile applications, and a number of other research techniques. We've been implementing the project in two places, Uganda National Association of the Deaf offices and Ntinda School for the Deaf. At Ntinda School for the Deaf, the focus has been deaf children between the ages of 6 to 11 years, and at UNAD, deaf youth between the ages of 15 to 22 years. Over time, we've been holding classroom teaching, interactions, and applying the different methodologies, testing the children, data collection, and the rest. For the first group that we've worked with, we've so far conducted the training with them for 7 months, interacting and giving them an opportunity to give us lesson plans that as teachers we've been using to develop the lessons for teaching. As you can see from this example. That is 9 letters. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very clever. Yes, you are very clever. Thank you. A sentence is where the line stops. So that is one sentence. The way we conduct the peer tutor training in UNAD for the young deaf people at Uganda National Vocational Resource Center is through different methodologies of teaching. We have methodologies within the classroom setting where the students sit in class and we apply the different methods. For example, we teach them in small groups where they hold discussions amongst themselves. They generate ideas, respond and comment on issues. We have students who are fast learners and those who are a little bit slow. So the interactions help them share information amongst themselves in a group, as you can see. That means something you can easily see, like a tailoring machine, a knitting machine, a kitchen for the students. After the small group discussions, each of the groups comes forward and gets a representative to explain to the main class what they discussed as a group. So they present and come on to a whole class discussion where they take comments on what is right and what is incorrect, as you can see here. Arrest. Okay, thank you. Could you spell for us the word police? Spell the word police. Mopping a house doesn't require you going so far away. You mop a house where you are. So through the group discussions, we then go on to the individual work where each and every student works on their own. They submit their work for marking, and I identify the gaps where they need guidance. But in that, we encourage them to work on their own. After the group discussions, we employ other methodologies like video recording of stories, and then we show those stories on PowerPoint or laptop so that the students can view the stories. The stories are in Uganda Sign Language. So after watching the stories, they capture the keywords or sentences and what they mean. They write what they have seen in the story in sign language. I wake up in the morning at 6 sharp. From here to there is Gulu. So when you want to check the map for Gulu, from the PowerPoint presentation, we list words that do not have signs. And after developing that list of the many words, the students discuss and get the signs for those words. Then they also make sentences from those words. They construct sentences from the words. So utilizing the words, they actually construct sentences that are also similar in nature. They are able to also note the difference between sign language grammar and English grammar. This helps students understand how to transfer a message from English to sign language or vice versa, as you can see. I wake up. You don't say, I wake up in the morning in sign language because it's a summarized language. Kneel and down is one word. The other methodology we use is role play and drama. So we teach students how to transfer a message, for instance, from English to sign language. Some students find it very confusing. So through drama, we ask the students to read a sentence and act it out in sign language. So a student has to read and memorize the sentence and then go to a friend and explain what was in that paper in sign language. So it encourages interaction. Then as a tutor, I take note of those who can easily relate English and sign language because the two languages are different. Some students can sign, but they find challenges writing in English. So I help them write the English sentence and act out for them to know how to sign it. My daughter wants to buy new socks. My daughter want buy socks. The other methodology is after teaching the students in classroom, and giving them work. The next day we come back to class to record the new words they learned from the previous lesson. So I record each and every sign, and that is part of the data collection that we keep in their portfolios. That helps us know whether the students remember the lessons of the previous day or not through reviews. That's my sign name. I learned a lot of things yesterday, and these are the new things I learned. Bakery, meter, region, it could be 2, 3, 4, or 9 kilometers, map of Uganda or different countries, Gulu, wake. Thank you. So on the topic for kilometers, I found that the students found it challenging. So I took them outdoors to learn more about the environment in a more relaxed setting, as you can see. For example, we could say, I want to buy a new sock, but the students don't know how to construct the sentence. So what I do is I cut out the words on different pieces of paper and ask the students to rearrange those cards to make a full sentence. It is part of the practice for them to understand sentence construction. She has interchanged those two words. My father will buy a new car next week. And then we have games that we sometimes use, because teaching students in a class for a whole day while seated is tiresome. So we use games for them to exercise. Who has it? Who has it? Who is it? So we don't only teach the students, we teach them and add other methodologies. When you look at the policy of government, the content limits performance of students who are deaf. There is a high failure rate amongst deaf students. That's the reason we worked hand in hand with Makerere University to conduct this study and identify the challenges as well as the solutions for addressing this. We've also held collaboratory workshops where UNAD has invited different stakeholders to have an interaction to discuss and come up with ideas of how we can address these challenges, as you can see. L is for deaf children in Uganda. The challenges and the way forward, that is what we want to discuss, to see that the children in school that means online learning, and what is the objective here? It is just for the children to pass examination. So we are using books that have been Repeat. The objective is just for the children to pass the exams. We are using outdated books and not providing any flexibility. Hello, my name is Sabayera Alex. I'm a student here and as well as a student in the tutoring class. I do knitting. I used to have challenges with English, but now that I've undergone training, I've improved. I used to have challenges with self-esteem, but now I can use my phone to communicate. If I want to ask the price of anything, I know the spelling for buying and selling. So I just have to type that on my phone as well as the money. How much balance I have to give someone. All that information is what I can now type on phone to communicate with the clients. And when they deliver my products, I'm able to pay because now I understand how to communicate on phone. So I just have to recall what we studied in class and I use that during my lessons. Thank you. Hello, my name is Narukwago Rose and that is my sign name. I'm a student at the UNAD Resource Center studying tailoring as well as the tutoring class. I came to the vocational training course in 2018, term 2, and I'd never seen of any tutoring class elsewhere. But I was taught from here and I've learned a lot. I feel I have improved. I can even use a phone. I've been taught how to use my phone. It's very interesting that I even had to go and buy myself a phone. During the holidays, I looked for where the MTN center is and bought a SIM card. Actually, know now the name of the place and which places sell phones. The phone has helped me a lot in communication and to improve my English. As you can see, this is the phone I bought and my receipt is here. So I'm very interested in getting those skills as I'm here because as I study also the tailoring, I know the spelling for material. So I relate that and I even know how to take measurements. When I go outside to buy materials or to sell any of my materials, I know the spelling for buy, B-U-Y, and sell is S-E-L-L. I bought this material at 21,000 shillings. So I'm very interested to continue with the tutoring class. Thank you so much.
I'm Dr. Anthony Mugere, a lecturer of sociology and anthropology in the School of Social Sciences in Makerere University, Kampala, Uganda. I'm a researcher on disability and health. And in my research on disability, I realized that sign language as a right to persons with disability in Uganda and Africa in general is not something that is widely considered because of the prejudices against persons who have hearing impairments, the deaf, because of the cultural background, because of the problems, the unique problems we face in Uganda and Africa, disease, HIV, now we have COVID-19 and all these challenges. So these people are denied their right to learn sign language, yet sign language is a right like any other, like the right to food, the right to health care, the right to housing. And despite all these national, regional and international conventions for the promotion of sign language as a right for persons who are deaf, we notice that in most of these countries, they are denied this right. So my feeling is that as we advocate for the basic rights of all the other communities, we need to also pay specific attention to the rights of people who have hearing impairments. we should know that the right to sign language is a right like any other. They need sign language for socializing, they need sign language to get education, they need sign language to get employment, to develop vocational skills. So sign language should be treated like any other right. It should be like the right to food, it should be like the right to housing. So as our leaders, as we the academia and all private sector and civil society campaigns for the other rights, they should also know that it is equally important to campaign for sign language for the deaf community. Thank you very much.